In terms of the draft, nothing gets more exciting when teams move up, move down. You have not one but two first-round selections. Reports everywhere that you would be willing to trade not one or both to move down around. What thought process that you can share with us 48 hours before the draft about 13th and 31st overall, John?
Yeah, that's accurate. Last year we hedged a couple things, and one of those, our second round pick was we sent that to the Chiefs for Dee Ford. Our third and fourth round picks, we got a fifth back from Denver, but they, those picks were Emmanuel Sanders now. So we have a big gap between those two first round picks and where we're going in the fifth round. And would we trade that? No, that helped us get to the Super Bowl and have a real good chance of winning it. But there is a big gap there. So I think you don't pass up a special difference-making player. And if that's there at 13, we'll stand pat. But if not, and we feel like there's a bunch of those guys still left, then, yeah, we're willing to get out of there to accrue some more picks. But I think the same can be said at 31. So it's kind of fluid. I love, the old comment John Madden used to say, all the people at Fox, what happens when a game breaks out? You can do all the pre-production you want, but then a game breaks out, a draft breaks out, and we'll be ready for all scenarios and looking forward to it.
Well, when you talk about game-changing players, I mentioned this to you before in your previous appearance here on this show, and then when we've chatted offline, that Deebo Samuel is the guy that everybody is looking for now. And in fact, Daniel Jeremiah at the Combine came up with the phrase "finding Deebo," that everybody wants to find Deebo. So you would know just how deep this wide receiver pool is in this draft. How deep is it compared to what you've seen before?
It's incredibly deep. It really is. Certainly this will be my fourth draft in this capacity. It's as good a class as I've seen. Now, you probably don't have, but how often do you have a Randy Moss, something like that? But what you do have, Eric DeCosta, I think, said it well, you find starter in the fifth round. I really believe that to be true. You start watching, and a lot of positions, it runs dry really quick. I think we were 24 players in, and you're still really enjoying the quality. And the other thing, I said this at the Combine, it's kind of like pick your flavor, too. You want a big guy? There's those guys. You want a short, quick guy? They have that. You want a burner? So there's a little bit of everything depending on what you need or what you tend to like as a franchise. It is very strong class at wide receiver, and that there is a ton of depth there.
Well, I got a couple questions for you, John Lynch, that you can touch. But I know these are touchy potential subjects. Certainly 2 days before a draft. Have you gotten any calls about 31st overall from teams you think looking for a fifth year of control for a quarterback? Have you gotten those calls, John?
Not specifically that. A lot of these guys are your friends, and you talk to them throughout the process.
Right.
But I would say that yesterday is when you start kind of actually making formal calls. Hey, just kind of want to let you know our situation. So nothing has got specific in that specific scenario. No, that hasn't happened. But like I said, oftentimes these things happen on the day of the draft, unless you're talking about the first or second pick. They'll happen earlier.
No,
so I anticipate that some of that stuff starts to happen here.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.